to Monday edition of Russo and Rizzo after a great sports weekend, March 16th, 2026. Welcome on in. Streaming live on YouTube at ESPN South Florida, ESPN West Palm on Twitter and Facebook. We got Mike Rizzo, we got Colin Russo, we got Christian Cat behind the glass today as there's a lot to get into. It was as good of a sports weekend as you could find. Really kicks off our spring season. The Players' Championship in which Cam Young, Ludwig Oberg, was the leader in the clubhouse coming into the day. Sort of fell apart there, had a bad round in this final round at the Players, and it was Cam Young who remained victorious over Matt Fitzpatrick in the final two holes of that great finish over at the Players. You had that. You had the World Baseball Classic in which the United States took the win over Dominican Republic in the semifinal down in Lone Depot Park in Miami. And Paul Skeens and company were able to really shut down the pitching staff of the United States, really able to shut down that star-studded lineup of the Dominican Republic. We'll get into that. And then yesterday, of course, was the conclusion of the College Basketball Conference Tournament Week, and Selection Sunday is away and done with. We officially have a bracket. Can't ask for much more. If you're a sports fan, should be a great next 5 days of just nonstop action-packed sports. And we'll start with the World Baseball Classic. Mike, how was your weekend, by the way? What was going on?
Weekend was great. We had Inter Miami on Saturday. The Herons drew without Lionel Messi. Pretty good matchup as they prepare for their Wednesday CONCACAF Champions Cup. And then Sunday was the day off. I got up early. I worked out. I made sure I was present for my mighty Manchester United Red Devils at 10 a.m., and then I followed it into college basketball, the Players, and the World Baseball Classic. And Kyle, speaking of that World Baseball Classic, Skeens didn't even have his best stuff. You know, Paul Skeens did not have his best stuff. He was missing a little bit on that fastball, on the gun, but he was still able to almost go 5 innings. Only the home run, and I mean absolute jack, that he gave up to Junior Caminero. But I'm more impressed with that bullpen for Team USA that didn't allow a single run. And the lineup of the Dominican Republic, they had the most home runs in WBC history with 15. And they only gave up 1 run and 1 home run. I was really impressed with how, and listen, I'm going to give him his flowers a bit, DeRosa, how he managed the game, how he knew where to go in the bullpen. I thought Rogers getting that double play to get out of the 5th inning was everything there. I mean, just truly a well-managed game, and I think the pitching staff owes a tip of the cap for Team USA.
Yeah, the thing about Smoltz was on it. John Smoltz had a great game in terms of calling it alongside Joe Davis in FS1. He said you can't – first he said it in the 2nd inning. You cannot attack that lineup trying to strike everybody out. It's just not going to work. You need to get outs. Keep the pitch count low and get outs. That's what Paul Skeens did. Now, he had one slip-up with Caminero. You almost – and the way you look at it is you're not trying to give up – you can give up solo shots. You can't give up multi-run shots, which is what he did, avoiding base runners, getting out of tight jams, and getting outs. And he got outs efficiently. He didn't use a ton of his pitches. I ultimately think Skeens did it exactly what he had to do. And yeah, you're right. DeRosa, a good game. Used a lot of guys in the bullpen. Mason Miller was, unhittable until that last at bat, which, it ended on a sour note. That bad call, full count against Geraldo Perdomo, in which, man on third would have been a dicey spot up 2-1 in the 9th inning. And counting a ball that got away from Miller a little bit low in the zone. They called it strike 3 while Perdomo was looking. That you don't really like to see that, and especially in a tournament that is not implementing the ABS system, especially when the rest of the MLB is. You just got to think sour taste to finish off. Really was a great game, a lot of energy. I hated how it finished, and I didn't like that specific notion. But outside of that, I don't know what else you're looking for in a baseball game.
Kyle, good catching, man. Will Smith did a hell of a job framing that ball, baby.
I guess.
Hey, you know what? Cry about it. If you're honest to God, if you're a Dominican fan, cry about it some more for me. Take the L. United States on their way to the championship. By the way, same guy who is same guy who was very upset when we lost to Italy. I know I'm a phony for that, but spare me on the bad calls. You scored 1 run all night and had 15 home runs throughout the World Baseball Classic.
They had Tatis up next.
Spare me.
They had Tatis up next. They had a man on third.
Tatis up next, who had an infield single, an amazing play by Gunnar Henderson, who fried him at first, but the throw was just a bit off target.
Mike, it was a terrible call. It would have been a man.
You know what?
It would have walked him.
Good catching. That's what I call that. And that's why, and hang on.
I hated that finish.
More flowers for DeRosa, who decided to sit Cal Raleigh and play Will Smith.
Well, I mean, it was easy. Cal Raleigh can't hit. He can't hit with a boat oar. He has been terrible.
Listen, I find it hard to believe that Dominican fans, or rather,
I'm not
USA
talking from the
haters
of
are
Dominican
saying.
fans. I'm just saying you hate to see it finish like that. That's the bottom line.
Good.
It's not a bad call. And that closed out the game. You hate to see it on a bad call.
Miller was cooking. He was frying, man. I don't mind that. It was a good frame job by the catcher. No issues with that. I'll tell the Dominican Republic,
issues.
Go ahead.
Did you
no
see
issues.
the circle on the broadcast?
No
where
issues.
It was about a foot below the line.
Tell the DR to get their big hits when they had runners on second and third all night.
I agree with.
All right. Let's not cry over that when you had chances all night and you weren't able to do it.
You're right there, especially in that seventh inning with David Bednar getting himself into a jam. And then Tatis was able to basically ruin the inning for them. I agree with you on that front.
And listen, I really like the lineup of the DR, and I like their players. This is just like, for everyone saying the wrong team won, let's bump the brakes a little bit.
Nobody's saying that. Nobody is saying that. You hate to see. Nobody said that. Not a single person ever said that. But what is being said is it not a bad call. That's the bottom line. And not a bad call.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't necessarily like what Karl Anthony Towns had to say,
what did he say
about it. The Cat was.
Where did he say?
I believe Christian Cat has the audio.
The audio.
Yeah.
Where did Cat?
Christian Cat has audio of Karl Anthony Towns complaining about the Dominican Republic and what happened. Christian, do we have the audio?
Was it a ball that last we watched in the highlight?
Hell yeah, that was a ball, man. Some bull. You all should have had a chance. We have Fernando Tatis Jr. coming up, bro. Come on, man. That was a ball, I tell you.
That was a strike.
No, hell no. You say that as an American. Right?
Couple of things there. Number one, Cat grew up in New Jersey and went to high school in New Jersey.
But he does play with the Dominican Republic for the Olympic team.
Okay, well, he should be playing for Team USA.
What about Austin Wells, from Arizona?
He should. Listen, he wasn't getting on the USA squad. Cat's good enough to be on the USA squad. Neither here nor there. All right? Listen, cry over spilled milk, will you? Okay? You lost the game. That call, in my opinion, wasn't changing the outcome. Tatis was horrible all night at the plate. Come on.
That's a consequential call. It is. I don't understand how you could see this from any other perspective. It was a consequential call.
It's a good play by the catcher.
It was a
great play by the catcher.
It was a great game, and Miller, it was weird. He was unhittable, and then all of a sudden he has a 4-pitch walk to Julio Rodriguez where he can't find the plate. He is spamming his slider. And then all of a sudden, dude, right down the middle, Mason. And it was weird. And it's funny because coming out there, all you could think about is the last time Mason Miller pitched in that ballpark, gave up a game-winning grand slam to Kyle Stowers.
Yeah, everyone was thinking about that.
I was going to say.
I thought they should have brought that up on the broadcast. I was thinking about that.
Christian,
I thought they should have brought that up on the broadcast.
I blame him. Listen, Christian, there's a group chat with some of the others here at ESPN West Palm that we work with, and Colin goes, Mason Miller loves blowing games in this ballpark before he threw a pitch. Dude, you're trying to put the Maloik on the guy before he steps on the mound.
That's what. Listen, if I was Joe
Davis,
Davis,
trying to put the Maloik on him.
Would have been the first thing I said if I was Joe Davis. Now, like back in May. When he last took the field at this ballpark.
Well, guy,
brought that up.
We need context. Famously, Colin left that matchup early. He actually went to that Marlin game at Lone Depot Park. He left early.
Four-run lead in the ninth inning.
I fried him for that, by the way, for leaving early.
Four-run lead with the best closer in baseball. Gave up
Christian Cat isn't Colin. If I left the game early and they went on a walk-off, that's something Colin would fry me for.
Oh, it's a bad job.
He would fry me for it. That's the only reason I'm getting on your case. But listen, I don't need you putting the Maloikio on the pitcher before he steps on the bump. What was that about?
The broadcast, I was waiting for Joe Davis and John Smoltz to talk about it and maybe bring it up, but they did not.
Thank God Will Smith, great catcher and true American, pulled the wool over the ump's face and had great framework. Not my problem. Austin Wells can't frame pitches like Will Smith.
2 strikes, anything close. That's what they tell you growing up, right?
Dig in, Kyle.
Was that very close?
Choke up.
Wasn't that close?
Choke up.
Great for the United States. It was a great game. The idea was you thought offense would win it. Turns out pitching won it. And it really was a couple of guys, Garrett Whitlock, Bednar, Rogers, a lot of guys really came out of the pen and did a good job. And it was a game in which I thought, solo shots wouldn't win the game. It turns out solo shots would win the game. Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony being the 2 lone shots that were able to get some points on the board for the United States, some runs on the board. And Aaron Judge having basically a homer that was robbed by Julio Rodriguez.
I was steaming.
Again, and outside of that play, in the first hit he had, Judge was swinging with a pool cue. And terrible at bats. But, that's what what Judge is.
The swing, I had a real issue with his last at-bat, 3-2 count. They throw him the exact same pitch.
Right.
They threw him the exact same pitch. And it's the pitch, to be fair, a lot of power hitters and good hitters can't lay off, Colin. It's the slider on the outside corner of the plate. It looks like it's coming in, and it's going right down the middle, and it fools you. And I've seen Judge strike out on that pitch so many times this World Baseball Classic, and I'm sure Christian has seen that a lot as a Yankee fan. But I wanted that to be Judge's moment. I like Judge. I sports hate the Yankees, but I actually do like Judge. And I've enjoyed being able to root for him for the 3 weeks that I've been able to do it. We just haven't had a lot to root for him for, right? He had that great, game one? We played Great Britain. He had that home run against Brazil. He had the home run against Brazil, and that's really been it. I thought once USA got to the bullpen, that's when they'd be able to pull away. The Dominicans' bullpen, that wasn't the case. How about Brazoban? Talk about putting the Maloik on somebody. I texted our group chat. I'm like, all right, can we hit Brazoban, dude? Can we hit one of these relievers?
Sarah Anthony came out. He played well.
Anthony Dominguez. But Brazoban, the movement that he had on his pitches. Geez.
It was a well-pitched game.
It really was, man. And I thought once the USA got Luis Severino out of the game, they've been able to put up at least 5 runs. That wasn't the case at all.
Yeah, you saw Luis Severino pitch with as much juice as he's ever had.
Gas.
It was his velocity. He was pitching 3 miles an hour higher than he ever does in a normal start. I think it just goes to show the energy of that game going into it. It was a good Dominican crowd. And it was a great sporting event. 8 o'clock start on FS1. I'd be curious. I cannot believe that was not on Fox. I believe Family Guy was on Fox instead.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
I cannot believe they did not put that on Fox. I don't know if there's a ruling with that on what games they can and can't put on Fox, but that is ridiculous. Maybe FS1 paid extra money to get that game's exclusivity, but it's the same network. I have no idea how that was not on Fox. I definitely cost them hundreds of thousands, if not millions of viewers.
Lucky there's a Family Guy.
So I don't know why they didn't
Who do you
do
think?
that.
What did better, Family Guy or the WBC?
I'd be curious to see what that
it
game
had
did.
to be the WBC, right?
Animation domination, man. It does well.
I think it's just the fact that it's on Fox.
Yeah.
I don't know how that game's not on Fox. I really don't.
It was a swing and a miss. No
right.
pun intended.
I would think.
No pun intended.
If I had to guess, that game probably did 3-4 million, something like that. But I don't know.
Tell you what, Seth MacFarlane has a lot of pull at that, with Fox apparently.
How
the hell? I didn't even notice that. Me, I'm such a bot. I have YouTube TV, and I just see the icon for it, and I click on it. I didn't even think twice about it.
Right. They had their top Fox guy. They had Joe Davis and John Smoltz doing the game.
Yeah.
They did Ken Rosenthal. They had they had Jeter and Poppy before and after the game. They had everything like it was a World Series game in terms of presentation. They didn't put it on Fox.
Rosenthal's everyone's buddy. He's everyone's buddy in that dugout.
Ken Rosenthal?
I think he could have done a little better last night.
Not as cameraman's.
Yeah.
I think he could have done a little better with some of the questions, but I get it. That's the nature of the beast.
I would agree with that. And him with Pujols was asking weird questions. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought he could have done a little better. We'll just leave it at that. Listen, I love Albert Pujols, first ballot Hall of Famer. He's not in playing shape anymore. Let's just say that.
Thank God the United States was able to take that game, because now they get the winner of Venezuela and Italy, who play tonight. No Japan. If you watched on Saturday night, Venezuela and Japan, probably in the best game of the entire tournament. We're able to knock them off their saddle and eliminate Japan on Saturday night. Excellent game and a back-and-forth affair with William Abreu knocking in a 3-run shot to take a lead late in the game. Awesome stuff there. It's been a very good, successful tournament. Now you're curious to see how Italy and Venezuela do tonight. Italy changed up their pitching lineup to allow Michael Lorenzen, who basically shut out the Americans last time he went out. They actually pushed him from the semifinal start to the final. So the United States, if Italy were to move on, they would be seeing the exact same thing that they saw before. That seems to be Italia's strategy. And we'll see what happens. But in terms of a baseball game, baseball's had a really big couple of months here because they have this to kind of kick off the season, get everybody's juices flowing. And they're coming off one of the best World Series, matchups in history. So it really is good forward momentum heading in. And the World Baseball Classic has gotten bigger every year they've done it. So hopefully this sort of lends itself more to teams and players allowing their players to kind of come out and play.
Yep, and we've seen in the Olympics, you haven't seen these pros in the Olympics. This has been the tournament to watch the pros play for their respectable countries, right? In 2020, when the United States got the silver medal, I mean, Nick Martinez started the game, and you look at that lineup, it's a bunch of prospects. So this has been the tournament where you're able to watch the best of the best compete for their nation. I've brought this up to you before, but the Olympics, the next time I believe is 2028 in LA. I hope that it probably won't happen because it's going to be during the season, but I hope maybe you could get an international break during the MLB season where you could see some of the best players, all the pro players play in the Olympics. I mean, you see it done in hockey. You see it done in world football, in soccer. So I would love for the MLB to do it. It's just so hard with the pitching, right? Because there's already crazy rules in place where if a pitcher gets hurt, that the MLB is going to cover for their salary. I'm shooting from the hip here on
essentially.
But basically, there's insurance policies for the starting pitchers and/or pitchers that are pitching for these countries. So I know it's hard to do, but I think baseball could really hit a home run if they do an international break style thing during the Olympics to let the players play in the tournament.
Who would you rather see in the final? Not as a fan, for the quality of the game. Let's do the quality of the game and
Italy,
then to win.
Italy.
You'd rather see you think that would be a better game?
No, sorry. Better game, Venezuela. Better story for Fox and the networks, Italy and USA. Because the USA, the only game they lost was Italy. I think Venezuela is the better team. I think, and listen, call me an upset American, fine. I don't care. I think the USA lost that game to Italy because they weren't taking the game serious. The DeRosa already thought they were into the next round. I think that was kind of the feeling around the game anyway.
It'd be a very hard game for the Italians to win again.
Correct. And I think the USA would have a better chance of winning against Italy comparatively to Venezuela, who I think has the better caliber of roster and talent. I mean, they still have Chirrillo, Acuna, Abreu's hot as a stove hitting that inside fastball, 450 in the third deck. I rather see the United States D team than Venezuela, my personal opinion.
So you want to see, or are you going to root for that?
No, because I want to see us beat Italy. And I am an Italian Sicilian American for the record.
Italy's fun. Italy's played well too. You can't just shun it off as
I want to beat them.
Right.
I want the USA to win 10-0 and shut that completely down.
And Nolan McLean is going to be starting that game again.
It's a nightmare. I mean, DeRosa's going to have to dump into the bullpen early. That's a young pitcher who's not ready for a spot like that. I wish we could recall Skubal. Can you call Boris? Christian, you got Scott Boris's number behind the glass? Can we call Scott Boris to see if we could borrow Skubal for 50 pitches?
Yeah, that's
just 50 pitches.
That's where this tournament gets hurt a little bit. Because we got Nolan McLean when we don't need to have Nolan McLean because Crochet and Skubal are trying to get their pitch count up in the spring training.
You needed every 4.2 of Paul Skeens in that game against the Dominican. Dominican Republic. You needed every 4.2 from that guy. So, but yeah, my response is you got to call Boris and see if we could borrow Skubal for 50 pitches.
I would agree. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, 8760. The World Baseball Classic. Venezuela, Italy took down the Dominicans last night in a great, very intense game. Couple tough opportunities for both sides, and they really squandered leaving men on, especially the Dominicans. So it was a game that was really characterized by its pitching, situational pitching, managing, and a couple big plays here and there by the United States for young stars. You got Junior Caminero, you had Roman Anthony, you had Gunnar Henderson, young big-time stars in the United States who are going to be here for a while, being the difference makers on the offensive side of things. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. We'll take a time out here. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, ref, time out, man. All right, team, we're only down by 5. We can still win this. Grab some water and get back out there. Whoa, not that water. You need Culligan water. With a free water test and advanced reverse osmosis purification system, Culligan helps reduce contaminants, delivering cleaner, safer, better tasting water. Enjoy 12 months interest-free. Schedule your free test today at Culligan.com, serving all of South Florida, residential or commercial.
Hey, Colin Man!
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli. And
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
College basketball is heating up and the tournament is here. Don't let your home get caught off guard. Get game ready now with EDS Air Conditioning. EDS Air Conditioning is a train comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. Right now, qualified customers can get 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the court, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS has been the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2026 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2026 Defender 110 P300S for just $899 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
I know they were favored in the game, but if you bet the under in the World Baseball Classic semifinal between the Dominican Republic and the United States, if you bet on just about anything, you bet on Cam Young to come back into it after Ludwig Oberg had, a 4-stroke lead hanging into that final day. You could do that. You win all that money. You don't know where to put it. You need a loan. You need to buy a house. Go to Flagler Credit Union.
Absolutely, Colin. If you get a big payday, like how I did taking Purdue against the Michigan Wolverines, Matt Painter has been in the tournament 11 years in a row. It's like the third longest streak in the country. Regardless, I took advantage of that with my good friends at Flagler Credit Union because I put it right in to my personal checking account. Flagler Credit Union, folks, offers personal checking accounts and business checking accounts. So if you need that credit union for your business, think of our good friends at Flagler. And for everyone that is listening that needs to take out some money, say you want to go on vacation, you want to make a home improvement, you want that new car, but you got 3 kids in college, you got the kids at the expensive high school. If you need to take out some money, think of Flagler Credit Union, because they're going to charge you less since they're a non-for-profit cooperative. So think of Flagler Credit Union when you need to take out some cash. You'll get a better deal. They got 4 convenient locations across Palm Beach County, Boca Raton, Lake Clark Shores, North Palm Beach, and right here in West Palm Beach. Flagler Credit Union, the official home of Florida Atlantic Athletics. Open up an account today by visiting flaglercu.org or stop by one of their 4 locations. Those are my guys, my bank at Flagler Credit Union.
Big sports weekend this weekend with the World Baseball Classic. The NCAA Tournament Selection Sunday already happened. And then you had the players over the weekend. The next 6 weeks here, you're going to be very well fed with the NCAA Tournament starting on Thursday. So with the World Baseball Classic final coming up tomorrow night, you had the other semifinal between Venezuela and Italy tonight, where Mike and I are both rooting for the Italians to take another victory and allow for a little bit of a rematch in that final game. That should be a lot of fun. But if not, I mean, this is the United States is to lose at this point, right? Like, that was their slip up against Italy. That was a game in which, it was a blemish. Hopefully it sort of locked in the country a little bit, and that's what you're going to see.
Yeah, I think that with how DeRosa handled it, and I know he'll never admit it, and that's fine. And listen, DeRosa's a great guy, all right? All I hear is good stuff about Mark, but he was dead wrong there. He was dead wrong what he said after the game. He definitely thought that they were locked into I mean, look at the lineup. Look at the lineup he trotted out there, too. I mean, Ernie Clement. I think that was the bigger reason. And, monkey see, monkey do. I think the players thought that as well. So if they play Italy again, I think it'll get ugly. I do. I think USA will win maybe like 8-2. Maybe
they haven't been able to score.
Maybe Italy's the team. They scored 7 runs against Italy. Once they found out that it actually meant something, Pete Armstrong.
They were doing that to try to salvage, run differential, but yes.
But I think once they knew they had something to play for in the 5th and 6th inning, that, all right, we got to kick it into gear.
The one thing, you got to give the Italians a little credit for shutting down that. The
Italian Americans. Hang on. Let me correct you.
Fine.
The Italian Americans.
I understand. The Italians shutting down the United States' lineup for the first 5-6 innings of the game. I mean, you got to give them a little.
That was Lorenzen. Credit. It was one person.
Yeah, fine. You got to give them a little credit for that. You got to give the offense credit too for smacking around the United States early, multiple pitchers.
Well, that's why I'm
kicked them off the team, both of them.
That's why I'm really worried about Noah. Why couldn't they kick off Noah McLean? Did we figure out Scott Boris's numbers so we could call Scooble? Yeah, I mean, I am worried about the starting pitcher. I am. How can't you be? After the last time that the young rookie went out there, completely pooped his pants on national television.
And DeRosa came out and said earlier that he doesn't think David Bednar out of the bullpen will be available. But Mason Miller will definitely go again if he's given the ball in there, if they have a lead to finish off the game. So it's going to be a lot of the same guys. You probably see a little Will Vest and then maybe a little bullpen action. Who knows? Joe Ryan, if you want to trot some out.
Well, you put starters in my opinion. Like, Skeens can't pitch. But everyone's available. That's my 2 cents.
I believe Logan Webb is available.
Unless, Colin, unless you're Bednar, who's got a lot of innings, you're Paul Skeens, who has a lot of innings. Dude, if you are available to pitch, be ready to go in. That's what, if I'm Mark DeRosa, that's what I'm saying. If you're a starter and you're available, be ready to go in.
It's one game.
Yeah, it's one game. You treat it like Game 7 of the World Series, honest to God. And that's what it's being compared to by the likes of Aaron Judge and Julio Rodriguez. I mean, this is a big deal. I love this tournament.
They're comparing the environments, and you know why it's good is because it's cheaper to get in. It's cheaper to get in. That's why the environments are better, because you could get into the building for $150, $200.
I mean, the Don of ESPN West Palm said it this morning on Sportsmanlike.
What did he say?
Business casual at Yankee Stadium for a World Series game. Those tickets are astronomical. It's a bunch of hedge fund guys with way too much money.
That's every professional sport.
Laughing and taking pictures and going, look at my seats.
That's not a baseball problem. That is a sports problem. I agree. That's a sports problem.
I agree. And that's why, it's why you don't get the great atmospheres, because the people that are actually in the game are screaming at home.
That's true. And you get into the building. We had a teammate of ours, $200 ticket, drove down there, was on the third base line, and he got a pretty good seat. So that's what it takes to get good environments. Thank God, because the corporate nature that has infiltrated college football, has infiltrated the NBA, has infiltrated the NFL, has infiltrated basically the World Series. All of that corporate buttoned-up nature to getting people in there, sponsorships, corporate, this, that, the other. They haven't necessarily caught on to the World Baseball Classic and the amount it costs to get into the building. Now, I'm curious on what that will look like for the World Cup, too, because that's a United States-based tournament, but, thousands and thousands of dollars just to get into the building. Yeah. And that is for group stage games. So I'm very curious to see how that sort of trickles down when you're trying to sell 65, 70,000 that are each, $5,000 a piece. I wonder what those environments will look like. I know it's going to be great, but since it's in the United States, it's going to get upcharged a little bit. What is that going to look like? That's the real question. That's another global event that I'm very curious to see how the environments, if they take a hit in person because of how expensive it is to get in.
Now, Kyle, you're my logistics and money guy, but I'm pretty sure each soccer federation has tickets to give to fans. So I still think you're going to get the crazy environment.
I don't know the numbers there, but yes.
I don't either, but you're right. My brother was in the pool for a bunch of these, soccer tickets, and they got passed up. And, my brother's the type of fan who would go there and be loud and proud. And they passed up on somebody like that. And obviously you don't really know, but the biggest secret, I think, with FIFA and soccer is that you're right. In the United States, with the current ticket landscape, they are pricing out the fan that'll go there and be loud and proud. And these nations will not be afraid to speak up if it's a bad atmosphere, too. Right.
The fans won't be afraid to say it.
No. So, Kyle, the average Premier League ticket, for example, there are probably, the Prem plays about, 40 match. There's about 20 home games a year. All right. The average Premier League ticket this year ranges from 45 pounds to 100 pounds.
Right. Doable.
That's very doable. And they are very loud. The English fan is very loud with the unreasonable tickets. They'll hear it. They'll boycott. That's the difference, though. We're still going to buy the ticket. The English won't buy the ticket.
Now, do you have the number there of the average price to get into a group stage game for FIFA? Maybe in the United. Yeah, look that up. I'm curious because the World Baseball Classic, on the other hand, you have tickets where you could get in for a couple $100 that is very doable for the casual fan. It's very it incentivizes you to go. And if you're sitting there thinking, I can't, it's the same reason that fans don't go to the Super Bowl. I can't swing $4,000 to get into a game. So what does it look like?
Group stage tickets for the 2026 World Cup in North America in general, right?
That includes Canada and
you got Mexico. Averaging over $200 for their least expensive option, with many high-demand non-premium tickets costing hundreds more. Resale and dynamic pricing have pushed average group stage game costs high to about $340 to $3,500 a ticket.
$3,500?
Yeah, $340 to $3,500 a ticket.
3500.
And then listen.
4 digits?
Listen to this one. Santa Clara, Kyle, where apparently some of these venues are going to be playing, around $430 in top-tier matches exceeding $3,500.
3500.
3500, according to CNBC.
Oh, my God.
Most affordable locations is Santa Clara at roughly $430. Atlanta is $451. Kansas City is $528, are among the lower cost options.
And that's Atlanta being one of them doesn't surprise me because the Blanks traditionally, I don't know how much they stake they have in that. They own the stadium. But
the $200, it's so deceiving because there's only a select amount that got selected to be able to purchase that.
Right.
If you didn't get selected, and nobody knows how FIFA does their selection process. The selection process has been a disgrace from what I've heard.
It's probably rigged.
And then, so if you don't get selected, you got to go to resale and to sit in the absolute rafters.
And that's where you get burned.
The average is $430, $451, and $530.
And that's for a group stage game against, a fourth bucket team. That's where you get burned.
Say you're a Brazilian-American family and you love the Brazilian team. Brother, you can't take a family of 5 for that. It's $2,200.
And just wait till they get to knockout stage. July 3rd is a Friday this year. And in South Florida, they have a game at Hard Rock. And if it plays out correctly, it's going to be Argentina's group versus Uruguay's group. And if Uruguay is the second team in their group, they would play Argentina in that knockout stage early on. That game would be July 3rd of 2026. I cannot imagine the price to get into that building because that would be $7-8 a ticket.
Yep.
That's going to be the Super Bowl on steroids.
Now, Kyle, listen to this horror story. This is from the Sports Business Journal. Massive price hikes. Some tickets are up to 5 to 9 times more expensive than those at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar.
Well,
for example,
I'm not surprised by that.
I mean, for the cheapest final tickets rose approximately $206 in 2022, obviously because it's Qatar. That same seat, that same premium seat that was going for $226 in Qatar is going for $2,000 in 2026.
And think about that for a second too. There's more games because it's an expanded field. There's 48 teams.
Correct. And you got to realize, though, Kyle, I understand it was in Qatar. All right. But these crazy soccer fans, they're going to travel no matter where it is. So imagine you're a Frenchman, you're an Englishman, you're a South American, like an Argentinian. You're going to Qatar. All right, and you're paying $222 for a ticket. Now you got to go to the United States for the same ticket, for the same quality of ticket. You're going to pay $2,000.
Right, and there's no chance you'll see the team twice because the team's going to be bouncing around different locations.
Correct. And then now you got to figure out either a flight or
hotel,
or you're going to have to drive 8 to 9 hours to go to the next venue. More, maybe even more.
So let's say if you're a Frenchman and you got a little money to burn because you've been saving up for this, you want to go see the France team. You fly over. Off the top of my head, I do not know exactly where they're going to play, but let's say they're going to play in New York for a day. All right, you're going to go to New York, and then they actually play in Philly the next game. That's very doable. But let's say they're in New York, and then the other Northeast are in Toronto. So all of a sudden, you got to deal with New York. You got to deal with Toronto. You got to get hotels. You got to get flights. You're paying $2,000 a ticket, and that is just for 2 group stage games, and you're spending, and that's for the worst seat in the house.
Right.
So you're spending you're not going alone. You're spending upwards of $15,000 on that alone. So that is where
you're right.
I'm very curious to see how what type of hit those environments take.
It's turning into, what it's doing is it's turning into, so I'm going to mention the Euros, which happened in Berlin. It's turning into other countries going to one game rather than every single game their team's in.
Right. They're not following. You can't,
one game.
Can't do it. You can't feasibly do it.
It's one game.
Yeah.
So
can't feasibly do it. Which is, I guess, what the United States as a host city, the North America, I should say, as a host continent, want because they want new people to come in and out just for one game.
Yep.
Spend more money, more flights, more hotels, more restaurants. That's what it is.
But
boom.
Not everyone's like me who loves capitalism and is fine with handing out money for every subscription. Okay,
you just can't feasibly do it.
It's impossible to swing. You're crossing the pond too. Like, we're hard to get to.
That's that. I'm very curious to see how those environments take a hit because we started on this conversation because of the World Baseball Classic and Aaron Judge talking about how it's some of the best environments he's ever played in. Well, yeah, because these tickets, the corporate nature of price hiking that has happened in the United States hasn't caught up to the tournament itself. You're still going to have the casual fan from the Dominican Republic who has family in Dominican Republic or a Mexico fan or an Italy fan, the United States, Japan, whatever it might be, show up and show out because you can get into the building. So I'm very curious to see how an event like that, a once in, a 30-year event like the World Cup that is going to, change the economy of the United States for basically a month. Very curious to see how those environments take a hit. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin, Russo, Christian, Cat. Listen, if you're driving down 95, getting a little bit of a fender bender, don't know who to call, who's going to get my back? I spent all my money on World Cup tickets. I need to get some of this money back. Well, that's where you're going to call Anajar and Levine. Because if you've been in that car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, they want to defend you. They don't even charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Don't settle for anybody. Go get the best. Go demand the best. Go demand Anajar and Levine because that's the difference. Take that one phone call. Take back control of your life. Make sure that you are defended at the highest of levels. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Selection Sunday is away and done with. We got a lot more to talk about. Christian was at the Players this weekend. Should be a lot of fun. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Power up your future at Palm Beach State College by training in a high-demand field. Our residential and commercial electrician certificate program offers hands-on training from licensed electricians with 40-week daytime or 60-week evening options. Financial aid is available for those who qualify. Get started on the path to a successful career as an electrician at Palm Beach State College. Attend one of our free hands-on info sessions. Visit pbsc.edu and search info. That's pbsc.edu.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Are you one of those people that just can't focus at home? The dog barks, the kids are screaming, and you're thinking, how am I going to get all of this work done? Working from home can be distracting, but Intelligent Office is here to help you focus. They offer quiet and affordable private office and meeting spaces in Palm Beach Gardens to help you get your work done. Call 561-472-8400 or visit intelligentoffice.com to reserve an office today.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3, streaming live on YouTube at ESPN South Florida. It is that time. We are in March. The madness is on the horizon. If you haven't tried Hard Rock Bet yet, there is no better time to shoot your shot than right here in March. New signups, new bettors can double their winnings on their first 10 bets. So yes, a maximum of a $50 bet. What that means is in your first 10 bets, if you win it, you get double. Put 20 on, VCU to win the A10, you win it, boom. Turn that into 40, and it's that easy. Hard Rock Bet, you could do that. You can do the World Baseball Classic, which is coming up tonight and tomorrow night. You get opening day just around the corner, just about 10 days from now. So you can watch that and a whole lot more on the app. Bet player by player, team by team, league by league, live or in the future. It is all available on the app. Try it today. Refer a friend. Get $50 in bonus bets additionally added to your account. It is that easy, that fun. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Consider about your gambling. Call or text 1-833. Play wise.
Speaking of the tournaments and the college action, you want to know who fried me with our good friends at Hard Rock Bet? Was UConn, man. I took them.
Yeah,
I took them on.
St. John's is a bad matchup. They got punked.
Oh God, I took them on that line in the game.
The Big East championship. Oh, they got
unwatchable
punked
by about 10 minutes in the second.
St. John's look like a 5 seed to you?
That is a joke, dude. How about that region? That is the region of death.
The East region.
That is the toughest region out there. I mean, you got Colin, Duke as the 1 seed, UConn as the 2. Michigan State and Tom Izzo, who's been to the second weekend for about 5 years running, as the 3. You got the Kansas Jayhawks and their talent. They've struggled at the end of the year. Very talented roster. They're 4th. And then St. John's 5. What a joke.
You have UCLA at 7. I mean,
not to mention, top tier team. If we're going there, I think the Buckeyes at 8. They've been playing good ball. It could be Ohio State versus Duke in that second round.
Yeah, and Duke doesn't like that.
No.
Duke does not like that.
No, not at all. So that's the region of death as far as I'm concerned. I have no idea.
Yeah.
There's going to be absolute maybe Duke's that good, Kyle. But I think there could be that's the region where you're not going to be able to predict.
Yeah, there are some 1 seeds that got, favors and they got gifts. Arizona being one of them, but teams that got screwed. Duke's the number 1 overall seed. Now, Duke gets there's a bunch of rules with how they have to place the 1 through 4 seeds for those who don't know when they're putting together the bracket. But there's a number of teams that got screwed. Florida is another team that got screwed in their bracket. They lost their semifinal in the SEC championship game. They got punked by Vanderbilt, but they were still a 1 seed. And how did the committee reward them? Oh, we'll put you in the South region where, all right, fine, you get Clemson, Iowa. The 5 seed is Vanderbilt, who beat them in the SEC tournament a week prior. So you want to put them in the same, and there's rules. If Vanderbilt was a 4 seed, they would not be allowed to put Vanderbilt in that bracket. You're not allowed to put teams who played each other in conference tournaments in the same bracket.
My pushback, you're going to make them play in the Sweet 16 then if they win their respectable games?
And UConn and St. John's is another example of that, just because they're a 5 seed. There's a rule. 1 through 4 seeds, they cannot put them in the same bracket again. Those are the only protections that last.
Brother, I have an issue with that.
It's a joke.
We saw that matchup 2 to 3 times already.
I know.
Really going to do it? Like, isn't the tournament about pairing teams up against you haven't seen that?
And they try to do that, but they did screw that up. They screwed up Vanderbilt and St. John's. Those are the big mishaps from the committee. But think about Florida for a second. You're not going to like this. The Florida second weekend, locationally, where is that? Houston. Who is the 2 seed? Houston. They could play in the Elite 8, and it would be 3 miles from Houston's campus.
Oh, my God. Be a home game.
It's a home game.
It's by all
1
purposes,
seed is playing a road game at the United Center against Florida. I don't think it's called the
That
United
drives
Center.
you batty. You are a schedule guy. You are a logistics guy. That drives you nuts.
Can you imagine being Florida there? Oh, we get the team who just beat us by 20 that we're going to have to see in the first game of the second round of the second weekend. And the second game of the second weekend, if we were to get there, we'd have to play Houston, who drove a bus to the arena.
Yeah, correct. That's
It's like
another.
the Lime scooters.
Now, like with that,
That's terrible.
You like Houston. You're high on that Houston
I
team.
love Houston.
Yeah,
Houston's going to win. Houston can win that bracket for me, just because of that. I don't know how yet, but they're going to win that bracket.
Yeah,
I don't have my official bracket made and done with. I think to
Too
put
early.
it macro,
We don't even know
too
who's
early.
playing yet.
Got to give it a couple days, especially with the 11 seeds. You're right.
And what I mean, yeah, that's
Arizona will be my champion. That's what I'll tell you. Arizona will be my champion. I've changed my mind.
You're trusting them?
Yes, because all the other 1 seeds showed blood.
I gotta
this
look,
weekend.
Colin. I gotta look and see the last time they made the Final Four. It could have been 03, 05.
Yeah, I'd have to go.
Or no.
through it.
I think Richard Jefferson, the year they went to the championship. What year was that? 01? I can't remember off the top. I was really young watching that.
The thing is every other 1 seed showed blood this weekend, and they did not. They were the only team that really showed guts.
Did they win by a game winner against
They won by a game
Iowa
winner
State?
against Iowa State, and that game finished with 13 out of 15 straight made baskets to finish the game. So it was just a back and forth affair.
Yeah,
that was on Friday night.
We watched, the boys and I watched Selection Sunday in Discord, and my brother, it's hysterical. He went from, yep, I'm not touching Arizona, this and that. Sure enough, after Selection Sunday, after the bracket, he goes, yep, Mike, right back on that Arizona bandwagon.
Yeah, so Arizona.
Like they burned you 5 years in a row.
Arizona will be my champion. I am saying that. I'm not picking Duke, and I don't like Florida at Houston. And
well, hang on, wait a minute. Aren't they going to have to deal with Bucky at some point?
So you want to know what's?
By the way, Wisconsin, Bucky's Badgers. It's my
who
nickname
had a good
for
weekend
Wisconsin.
because they took Michigan down to the wire, took an OT on Saturday.
Correct.
You know what they have to deal with?
What do they have to deal with?
Classic
High Point.
committee.
High Point
in Portland, Oregon. It is 12:50 p.m. on Thursday. Portland is 3 hours behind. That is or 1:50 p.m. That is a 10:50 a.m. local time game against High Point, who hasn't lost since MLK Day.
Didn't they do that last year? Who did Wisconsin lose to last year?
BYU in Salt Lake City.
That's it.
And basically a home game.
Yeah, that's it.
That's when they played on Sunday. They played in the Big Ten championship game against Michigan, lost. Then 3 days later, they got to go on a plane and go to Salt Lake City, adjust to elevation, play Montana, who plays at elevation, and then play BYU, who plays at elevation.
I'll tell you what, Kyle, that region, the West is a joke.
Arkansas and Wisconsin is dangerous, but everybody else,
but Wisconsin, you're the one to tell me they could lose first round last week.
Because they're playing in Portland. And Mike, it's going to be a 10 a.m. game.
I just think
it's a 10 a.m. game.
That's a joke. I just think they have the worst 2 and 3 seats. I think
I would agree with
Purdue's
that.
the worst 2. I think Gonzaga's
I would
the
agree with
worst
that.
3.
I would agree with both.
And I know Calipari's a tough out. Just he's a Kentucky Fairweather fan. You happy you got rid of John Calipari? You happy now we're stuck with Mark Pope? Anyway, I agree with you. Arkansas is probably going to be the toughest road for Houston in that entire thing.
That will be a very fun little quadrant of the tournament is Wisconsin, High Point, Arkansas, Hawaii, because Hawaii, their shtick is they have a bunch of guys who are 6'8" and above.
Oh, they're massive. They're like Michigan.
But they don't switch or help. They play straight up one-on-one defense the entire game without fail. That's their thing. And they have a 7'2" guy in the paint. They got like 5', 6', 9 guys who play defense, and they do not switch or do not help on defense. And they're going against Arkansas. That'll be a fun game.
Help me out with their conference. Is it
Big West?
Mountain West?
Big West.
Big West. They won that, huh?
They did. They beat UC Irvine on Saturday night at 11 p.m.
That's who we usually see out of there.
Yeah, UC Irvine's a team that you usually see.
I'm like, there's no way they got in that large, so they had to win their conference.
Yeah, this is a weird tournament because a lot of these mid-major champions were not 1 seeds in their conferences.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, like, Northern Iowa, who's a very popular upset pick. Northern Iowa gets burned. They're going against St. John's.
Missouri Valley Conference.
They're going against St. John's.
Yeah.
Missouri Valley Conference is always a famous upset pick.
Yep.
But they're going against a St. John's team who has won 16 of 17 games. And that's a team that is big, but they're not physical. And St. John's is going to punk them.
Patino punked
Patino's
me.
not losing that game.
But
yeah.
I can't take St. John's deep after last year. They punked me.
Oh, they did.
They
Arkansas
punked me.
burned them.
They
I agree.
punked me bad. And I'm
The
not
thing
doing
about
that
St.
again.
John's,
I'm not
too,
doing
that you
again.
don't like is St. John's was playing in Saturday. They're in the East region, right? So they're the 5 seed. Here's what you don't like about that in terms of scheduling. The coaches think about this. Patino has to go to San Diego to play Northern Iowa, right? Which is brutal. St. John's fans don't. I mean, St. John's fans are not going to that.
It's cross country, correct? Yeah.
And the other team in their quadrant is Kansas and Cal Baptist. Cal Baptist is not far. And Kansas, on the other hand, Kansas fans travel. So they're going to have to play Northern Iowa, who is a tough mid-major, probably one of the strongest mid-majors of the entire tournament. And they're going to have to play them in the first round, and then they're going to have to deal with a traveling Kansas team in San Diego. And then they're going to have to come back to New York City for 3 days. Let's say they move on 3 days. And then they'd take on Duke in the East region, which would be in Philly, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That is tough. That is not easy. Or D.C. It'll be in D.C. So they're going to the East Coast to play Duke, who gets to hang out in the East Coast the whole
How
time.
about that? 2 teams I do not trust at all in Kansas and St. John's. One of those teams will probably go to the Sweet 16.
I'm going to take St. John's.
Are you?
Yeah.
I love Patino.
St. John's is better this year than they were last year.
My fellow
They're better this year than
Paisan.
last year.
Are they going to sit that?
R.J. Lewis.
Remember
like they did
that?
last
That
year?
was
Yeah.
a debacle. That was an absolute debacle.
Their best player on their team is the defensive player of the Big East. He's the player of the year in the Big East. Zuby Ejiofor. He's going to be a beast. I want to see St. John's and Duke very, very badly. As a basketball fan, that's what I'm going to root for. Because that's an awesome game. St. John, you saw it on Saturday night. Yeah. They punked UConn.
I turned it off with 10 minutes to go in the second half. I said, I'm good. We don't need to watch.
It looked like JV versus varsity.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see that defense go against.
I turned down the Big Ten championship. One screen, the Big Ten championship.
You want to know another team that's getting screwed? How about this?
Big Ten semifinal.
Look at Arkansas for a second. Arkansas, who, mind you, playing Hawaii. And
You're big on this Hawaii pick. I think they win by 15.
No, I know, but I agree. I think Arkansas is going to win.
Okay.
But Hawaii's dangerous. But what I'm saying is they're going to Portland. Arkansas played on Sunday. They played 3 games in 3 days in the SEC tournament over the weekend, finished it up in Nashville. Then they play Thursday at 4 o'clock in Portland, Oregon. So you're telling me that they're probably going to have to travel on Tuesday. So they get back from Nashville on Sunday night, watch the selection show. Maybe they might have even stayed in Nashville for the selection show. They get back late last night. Then they got to travel on Tuesday to go all the way to Portland, Oregon to play Hawaii, who is a West Coast team to begin with. That's tough. That is not easy.
That's the logistics of the tournament never makes sense.
Well, I mean,
they don't make
try
much
to accommodate these teams, but they get burned. That's why Florida and the Houston playing in Houston, that's difficult. That's why you don't like it. I have fun with it because it's fun to see where they bury these teams and how they handle it, but that's just how it goes. So from a perspective of where is everything going to be and when, I don't know. This is going to be some of these teams get burned with travel schedules. That impacts them. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited for the tournament. And the teams, you were talking about teams that get screwed. Vanderbilt and St. John's did. Vanderbilt and St. John's. Can you imagine being St. John's winning your conference? They've won 16 of 17 games. They've lost 6 games overall. and they're a 5 seed.
It seemed like whoever was winning that I'm going to go to the SEC, Kyle. It seemed like whoever was winning that SEC championship was getting a 4, and whoever lost was getting a 5.
I would have made that one of those two teams. I would have made them a 3. I would have made Arkansas or Vanderbilt a 3.
And I don't understand St. John.
In that spot?
Yeah, I don't understand how they end up a 5 seed after winning the Big East. You want to know what that tells me?
They don't respect the Big East.
Correct. They don't rate them. I mean, who are the Big East teams in this tournament?
It's Villanova, UConn, and St. John's.
Villanova, UConn, St. John's. They're a 3-bid league this year.
Right.
I think if it were deeper like the SEC or the Big Ten, then they probably would have got the benefit of the doubt. That's why they need new coaching in that league, like our guy Luke Murray.
Butler's coach retired today. Thad Matta. Who's been there forever.
My Ohio State GOAT.
And has been there forever. Has had a great career. He retired today, so Butler's a job that's opening.
Is that another Luke Murray destination?
I checked now.
Well, Murray's going to get an East Coast job. He's an East Coast
Maybe
guy.
BC. Luke Murray's the head assistant at UConn, by the way, who is Hurley's top guy.
But
we're clamoring to get a job.
Explain why we're claiming for him to get a job.
Because Tim Russo could be along the ride.
Yeah.
Who is my brother.
I said a prayer for Timmy. I forget what night did we talk about? Colin, we were on our way home from Amerant Bank Arena and the Panthers, and we were talking about Timmy and his situation. I
Northern Arizona basketball.
Said a prayer for him. I said, please, Lord God, please take care of Timmy.
Might be BC. It might be BC.
Do we that's a dead end job? I can't tell you the last time that team was any good. Football and basketball. Was it Matt Ryan the last time that team was good in football? When the hell was the last time they were relevant in basketball? The 80s?
Call Matt Ryan for some NIL.
Kyle, the 80s? I can't tell you the last time a Boston College team made a tournament.
Mike, it might be them.
Oh, my God.
I think Butler's going to get I think Butler's going to get the Miami, Ohio guy.
I cannot remember the last time that team was good.
I know.
That's an issue.
So that is an issue. We're going to rebuild the program going into a barren wasteland. Yep. But some more NCAA tournament stuff. I can't get over how the committee, put Vanderbilt and St. John's in a tough spot there because Vanderbilt, who, mind you, basically shred their way through the SEC.
They beat Florida.
They pummeled Florida. They beat Tennessee, and they didn't get any reward from it. Whereas Purdue, who won the Big Ten, beat Michigan, were gifted it too.
Now, quickly, last thing here. I thought it was right what they did on Miami of Ohio.
Yeah,
make them earn it. Make them earn it.
And you know what? That's a very winnable game. SMU is a team that has lost 5 of their last 7 coming into the game. They had an okay conference tournament. They lost fairly early though. And Miami, and they're going to be without one of their best players potentially.
Hey, Kyle, you there?
Yeah,
that's a 15-point game, bro.
That's not a 15-point game.
That's
have some faith in the little
faith.
guy. You can't stand the little guy. You can't stand the little guy.
That's not true.
Who's going to be your little guy then? You got to have a tiny team coming out of nowhere.
I got to figure it out.
You hate Hawaii. You hate Hawaii.
I don't hate Hawaii. I just
can't stand.
I like
Hawaii.
Cal. I love Calipari.
You know the last time Calipari was a 4 or above seed? You remember the Oakland game?
Just stop, dude. Jack Golke.
He loses these games. This is a game that Calipari loses.
This is Cal reborn at Arkansas. Right. I can't believe. So how about this? Arkansas, with Calipari in 2 years, they've won 20 games back-to-back years, went to the Elite 8 last year, and Pope.
Now, let's be a
little fair. The guy's spending everyone's money and losing 15 games this year.
True. The last thing I'll say, Calipari didn't walk into a barren wasteland that is the Arkansas job. All right, let's get that out of the way. He walked into a good program.
He makes his own luck.
Please,
that's a guy who makes his own luck.
Eric Musselman was there, who went and took the USC
he ran that into the ground.
Well, he ran USC into the ground. He was good at Arkansas.
Correct, but he ran USC into the ground. It was the right move. That was the right move.
Be a little fair. He didn't walk into BC and turn it into an Elite 8. Cal would struggle
He's
at BC.
got clout, man.
Cal would struggle at BC.
Listen, you're a Northeast guy. I'm surprised you don't like Coach Calipari. He's a Paisan Northeast guy. You should love Calipari.
I saw Calipari over the summer.
That's my guy,
I saw him over the summer at Dunkin' Donuts in Lavallette, New Jersey. He was great. Are you kidding me? I'm a big Cal guy.
So Cal, my dad had a story on Cal. My dad was somewhere for the tournament, and Kentucky lost. And my dad and my stepmom, they went
one of the many times they got upset?
Just stop. No, this was like Final Four, Elite 8.
Okay.
They lost. This was deep in the tournament. And my dad and my stepmom, they go to church. You want to know who was sitting 3rd row with his wife? Coach Calipari. The day after losing in the NCAA tournament, Coach Cal went to church. I give him credit.
2015 Wisconsin game?
It might have been, Colin. It was either that game or one of the UConn losses. Either the Kemba loss or the Shabazz Napier loss.
Wow.
But yeah, my dad called me. He goes, Mike, talk to Cal. he was at Saint whatever's church and this. I'm like, that's my coach, man.
Because he goes to church.
He's trying to get good favor for next season. That's what he's trying to
hang
get.
on, quickly. The Kentucky team that's a shame that never did anything was John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Darius Miller, DeAndre Liggett. That was the best team Cal ever had as far as I'm concerned. I know they had the undefeated team with Cat and Booker or whatever. His first year, Colin, where he had John Wall and the Monstars and lost to friggin' West Virginia and robbed me of seeing my team in Indianapolis. What's a joke?
I love Cal. He's a great coach. The one thing about him is he loses games he shouldn't a lot.
Well,
and you know that's true.
He's also been to numerous Final Fours and has a national championship.
Right. Great. UMass, all that stuff. But he loses games he shouldn't lose a lot.
Are we better off with Pope? Better off with the Pope? Now you're stuck with the Pope.
Well, you watch when Hawaii doesn't switch the entire game, and it's 88-84 with 2 minutes to go.
Brazil could single-handedly beat that team.
No, you're wrong. Keep an eye out. Hawaii doesn't switch. High point, too, also very dangerous against Wisconsin.
15-point game.
Mike's got to figure out a couple underdogs if we're going to be talking
Cinderella's
like this.
dead. It's the NIL era, Kyle.
No upset in the first round?
We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out.
We'll get Christian Katz's story at the Players. We got Jonathan Zazo at 5:25. We get the 5 at 5. A lot more to do. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Come to Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium on Saturday, March 21st for Pickleball Day, presented by Florida Power and Light. Purchase a special game day package which includes a reserved box ticket, a Cardinals and Marlins pickleball paddle, and a chance to meet and greet the Palm Beach Royals pickleball team as part of a pregame clinic on the concourse. After the game, kids can run the bases and everyone can enjoy a post-game concert. Purchase your Pickleball Day package at RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 27 national championships, including their 3rd championship in women's soccer. Visit KUCHawks.com for the latest on the championship athletic programs at Kaiser University.
Today's tax tip is brought to you by Anshin Accountants and Advisors with Brent Lessie, partner and tax leader of Anshin's Consumer Products Group.
Did you know the One Big Beautiful Bill Act has created unprecedented opportunities for founders? The $10 million exclusion has increased to $15 million, and the 5-year holding period is no longer an all-or-nothing hurdle. Founders now have the flexibility to raise capital and align their tax-free treatment over 3, 4, or 5 years. These changes include the higher asset ceiling and allow founders and investors to scale aggressively while capitalizing on this tax advantage. Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, prioritizes understanding founders' unique circumstances to achieve their goals. If you're a founder that doesn't want to leave money on the table, let Anshin deliver value where others can't.
For more tax tips from Anshin, visit Anshin.com. That's ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Need an extra boost? With Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union, you can earn up to $700 each year with a 7.0% annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's real money for real moments, like a family getaway or treating yourself to something special. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit 1 checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic Athletics.
Are you a business owner or handle your company's marketing? Banyan Printing and Signs partners with over 1,000 local businesses in Palm Beach County. Their full-service solution saves you time and money by eliminating multiple vendors. From business cards and brochures to direct mail services and signage, they do it all. Fast turnaround, free local delivery, and superior customer service are what sets Banyan apart. Could a market leader with 48 years improve your current model? Visit BanyanOnline.com or call 561-586-6220.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Colin to the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. It is the last week. You can head over to Cacti Park in the Palm Beaches to go take advantage of some spring training baseball. Mike Rizzo and I are going to be throwing out the first pitch tomorrow for a 1 p.m. first pitch. So stay tuned for that on social media at ESPN West Palm if you want to see that. Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the last week of spring training. Up until now through the 22nd of March, see some of the baseball's biggest stars playing right here in Cacti Park. Go see the Astros or the Nationals play every single game. It's an independent, intimate environment to go watch a game. Only a couple thousand people there. You could go see your favorite players, throwing catch, throwing bullpen, pitching, hitting, and they're all great with the fans, and it's right down the street from here in West Palm Beach. It's been a mainstay for baseball here in South Florida for a long time. No place better to go watch some baseball than Cacti Park in the Palm Beaches. Go to cactipark.com to get tickets today. That is cactipark.com. Christian Cat is with us now on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Christian, how are you today? How was your weekend in Jacksonville?
It was good. Really no complaints whatsoever. Every time I go to TPC Sawgrass for the Players' Championship, I come out of it reaffirmed in my belief that it's the best thing the PGA Tour does. They've yet to figure out their playoff system or lack thereof. They've, had some events fall off the cliff. But the TPC Sawgrass, the Players' Championship, is incredible. I coined the phrase earlier today, Public Augusta.
And you went on Saturday?
I went on Friday, Saturday, and on Sunday.
You got 3 different tickets?
Credential, baby.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Did your dad go with you?
He wasn't feeling well. He was supposed to on Friday, could not make it. So I was using his place.
They credentialed you for that?
Cover golf in Florida, don't I?
All right.
At TGL.
Did you cover the players? You were there?
Listen, everyone.
I don't want to compromise you as a journalist.
Everyone in that media room has a performative laptop. Everyone's like sitting there acting like they're getting work done. They've got second screens. They're watching college basketball. But there
are people watching college games in the media room.
Yes.
Wow.
That happened a lot in the Indians press box too.
Wow.
They were watching some other stuff.
Well, I understand this weekend, but last week. Wow. How about that? So people were watching conference championship weekend, huh?
They were watching that. I was enjoying the free food and the free coffee and the free Powerade and water.
Did you stay through the ending yesterday?
Yeah, I watched
so
the
you
ending.
Did you follow Cam Young and Matt Fitzpatrick through the final 3 holes?
I ran out of gas. So I watched the first half of the day on the course, then I went to the media room and watched it from that HQ, which is actually better because you can't really...
You could actually see what the other leaders are doing.
Yeah, I didn't have inside the ropes access. That would have changed things. Then you want to get in right next to the action, but it just got me through the gates. I followed Victor Hovland a bunch of the week. I really followed him majority. And then I caught Chris Goddard up for a while. But watching Ludwig Oberg just throw it in the garbage on 11 and 12.
Too big of a lead. There's something about it. You can't have a 4-stroke lead going into the final day. It's too much pressure.
So my brother and my best friend Gomer, they're in this ridiculous golf league, and they had Aber.
Oh, they picked him.
However you pronounce. Yeah, they picked him, and we were hanging out in Discord all day yesterday. And let's just say Zach raged out for about an hour and a half after he went in the water. What was that on the what hole?
12.
Yeah, it was over after that. I mean, he completely capitulated after that. You could have been. I kept telling him. I said it could have been worse. It could have been Adam Schefter and Colin Morikawa. What he pulled out of the tournament, right?
Yeah, he played one hole,
and that was it.
Then on his second hole, he tweaked his back in a practice swing, and then it was done.
Yeah, and that was it. So I said it could be worse. You know,
McIlroy did not have a great weekend.
Couldn't putt.
No, yeah, nothing really special from Rory.
Scheffler, very pedestrian.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like his bad weeks are like top 30s.
A lot of guys would trade that, yeah. But it's a pedestrian week for him.
But seeing that crowd get behind Cameron Young was really cool. Cam Young, he plays TGL. He is not a big personality. Like, it's rare to see him smile. He smiled maybe 1.5 times in the history of his PGA Tour career, and it happened the halftime on his first championship, and he smiled yesterday.
Wow.
That was pretty. He hit the longest drive in the history of that 18th hole yesterday when he was tied for the lead on the 72nd hole of the tournament.
Wow. Good for him.
375 yards.
Great finish. Great finish, no doubt.
That's why the golf course is so spectacular, because of how difficult 18, 17, and 16 were. If you look at the numbers of how many balls were hit in the water over the weekend of the entirety of the tournament, the most amount of water balls were hit on 18, the second most were on 17, and the third most were on 16.
Wow, interesting stat. How about that?
So, exactly. You got to earn it. You can't just take par for granted, sit on a 2-stroke lead, and coast your way through. Par's a hard score on that back 3 holes.
And
was really cool.
And you thought Fitzpatrick had him, and then boom, here comes Young, and you got to take it. And that's exactly what he did the last couple holes.
Yeah, the birdie on 17 on that pin location is so hard. They're trying to make a push to make it a major. It's a weird, there's no official way to become a major.
I think it's got its own identity with the coined 5th word of mouth major. It doesn't necessarily need the official title. Would you agree with that?
I think that having the coined term major will make the winners of that tournament get the justified exemptions throughout the rest of their career. When you win a major at Augusta, US Open, the Open, or PGA, you get certain lifelong or at least 10-year windows where you are automatically qualified for certain tournaments. I think you should be respected as much as when you win those 4 tournaments.
They should weight it in the actual schematics of how they play and qualifications of tournaments.
Yeah, iconic golf course, and you really got to earn it. And
everybody plays in it. Everybody respects it. The golfers definitely view it as a bigger tournament than anything else on tour outside of the majors.
Yeah, and that's when the PGA Tour looks its best, because there are no live guys playing in it, and the live guys are playing that weekend, and it looks like they're in a clown show compared to what the PGA Tour has the best they can provide. And live has their weekend once a year when they're in Australia, and they have their final say. But that's the best the PGA Tour looks. It's in Sawgrass.
Let's bounce around. Let's do a little 5% by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High 5.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU Athletics. Number 1.
Well, the World Baseball Classic only has 2 more games to go. We saw the United States of America with an emphatic pitcher's duel, 2-1 win. It featured pretty much everything. Flashing some leather, Captain Aaron Judge.
Ketel Marte, who shows off that bat with a base hit to right. Tatis heads for third. Throw from Judge, right there. He's gone. Judge cuts down Tatis. Thrilling stuff.
And then I mentioned the pitcher's duel, the final out.
Here it is. Oh, the championship.
The emotions ran high. USA wins 2-1 down in Miami. Had players talking a little bit recklessly about the environments in the World Baseball Classic. Aaron Judge said it is bigger and better in terms of atmosphere than the World Series that he played in a couple of years ago. And as a matter of fact, Julio Rodriguez, who was on Team Dominican Republic, was asked, what would you rather win? A World Series with your Mariners or a World Baseball Classic with this Dominican team? And here's what he had to say.
Winning the World Baseball Classic or the World Series? You can't choose, can you?
No. I mean, being honest though, like I love the Mariners. They know I give my best for them every single time that I step on the field. But winning a World Baseball Classic will be top of the list. You know, this is for my country, this is for my town, this is for my people, my neighborhood, like everybody in the Dominican Republic. So I would say winning the World Baseball Classic will be number one.
So that was Julio Rodriguez from Team Dominican Republic saying it'd be number one. Also, Albert Pujols said if he was able to manage this team to a championship in this tournament, it'd be the best thing he did in his career. Do you think these guys are truly bought in and mean everything they say in terms of how much a championship would mean?
They're definitely trying to promote it, and I think what are they supposed to say? They're supposed to say that. So I'm glad that they are trying to promote the importance of it, because there are people, purists out there, that sort of denounce the importance, and there are players, especially in the American side, who have walked away in the middle of it, those moments denounce the importance of the actual tournament itself. So it's good that these guys have a sense of pride attached to it. You know, very rarely does the Dominican Republic get to dominate in a sport, and I think that's why they take it so, close to heart, whereas you look at the United States, who dominates in almost everything. That's where it doesn't necessarily feel as big. But good for these players. It's strange that Julio Rodriguez did say that about the Dominican Republic. Number one, it's a 7-game tournament, and you're going to have a chance in the quarters. And the Mariners, if you win for the Mariners, you are immortalized for that entire franchise. You're immortalized in baseball if you win one for Seattle, for a team that's never done it. So from that perspective, I'm surprised he did say that, but I guess, these guys have a lot of pride in it. It's a 7-game tournament. It's anybody's ball game, and that's why it's fun.
I mean, to counter that, immortalized for Seattle is a lot smaller than being immortalized for the Dominican Republic.
The one thing I can say is he's going to get a guaranteed another shot in 2 years. Like in Seattle, you might get one. You can get 1 or 2 looks at the World Series, and then from that's it. That's how hard it is to win a World Series. It's a culmination of 180 games. Whereas Dominican Republic, they got hot for 5 games. They went cold on the 6th, and then they're out. So, and then you kind of move onward and upward. But I understand the pride of country. I think a lot of it has a lot to do with baseball is the Dominican Republic. That is their sport. They don't dominate in anything else but that.
I like the pride for country. I'm not gonna scold Julio Rodriguez for saying that. I got to be honest though, boys. I'm not a Yankee fan like Christian. I rather have the Indians win the World Series than Team USA win the World Baseball Classic.
Not even a consideration.
Not even close. I mean, the Indians haven't won since '48. We want to know what my buddies did I say? That almost doesn't even count. You haven't won a World 1948.
Thoroughly agree.
Barely counts.
I agree.
I that's where I'm at. But you guys know me. I get hot and heavy about this, man. I want Team USA to win. I want us to be the best. Call me a spoiled American all you want. I expect to win this tournament, and I expect to win it in glorious fashion.
Yesterday, as Colin mentioned, a jam-packed sports week. It was Selection Sunday, where the bracket was unreleased for the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournaments. I need bracket 101 from the book of Colin Russo and the book of Mike Rizzo. When you print out that bracket, or when you pull out the ESPN Tournament Challenge app and re-download it and log in, and you forget your password, so you got to look that up and reset your passwords.
Isn't that a nightmare? That is an absolute nightmare.
What do you have as your guidelines when filling out the bracket?
All right, so when choosing a champion, you got to think of a couple things. Again, this is no gospel, but here's what I could tell you. 17 of the last 18 champions in college basketball have been 1 seeds or named UConn. And the 18th is Chris Jenkins hitting the game winner over North Carolina in 2016.
And arguably the best championship ever.
I would say this is going to follow suit. You're going to see a 1 seed win this year. So I think that is the highest probability is choose a 1 seed. You're better off doing that. As for everything else, I would have told you if you asked me a week ago, I would say I would be confident in a 1-1-1-1 Final Four. After this weekend, a lot of those top teams showed blood. I think because of that, it's matchup dependent. I would say favor teams with experience, favor great coaches, and favor consistency rather than a great win 3 months ago. That's what I would say.
My advice is good luck in the East. Good luck in that East bracket. I have no idea what to do there, and I think the entire country is there. I agree with Colin. You got to pick one of the 1 seeds to win. I don't trust Arizona. I don't think anybody should ever trust Arizona until they prove to you that they can make a Final Four.
Yeah, but that's not Tommy Lloyd's problem. That's an Arizona program problem.
I understand that, Colin, but how long was that Sean Miller there for?
But he's not there.
But listen, there are chokers in this tournament, and there are teams that are consistently in the thick of it. Arizona's not one of those teams.
But that's a coaching thing. That's not you can't just draw that up to the team. I understand what you're saying.
It's a gut feeling. And then I don't know if Florida. I was with Colin as well with the 1 seeds. The 1 seed that I'm down on, believe it or not, Florida and Arizona. I'm probably going to roll with Duke, as it stinks as I'm an Ohio State guy. They're going to lose in the second round. And then Michigan. Michigan's too big. I don't think anybody's going to be able to dribble penetrate against Michigan. Now, a team could go and shoot the lights out. How Michigan is going to lose in this tournament is if they don't hit shots.
They lost yesterday.
If they don't hit shots and some team just blazes the nets behind the arc against them. I like Michigan in the Final Four. I like Duke to the Final Four. Best of luck on the rest of it. And even though I said best of luck on that East, I still think Duke is more quality than I want to take UConn badly, but Izzo's down this year. I can't believe Sparty got a 3 seed, by the way. They should have been a 4.
Number 3.
But I like Duke. It's probably going to be the team for me this year.
Hey, outside of sports, the Oscars were last night. Big TV weekend. One battle after another won Best Picture. Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor.
I was shocked by.
For his role in Sinners, where he played 2 twin brothers. Colin, you're the film guy in the room. Mike, I don't know how many of the films nominated you've seen.
Did you see any of them? Did you see Sinners?
No.
Did you see One Battle After Another?
No.
Did you see F1?
Yes.
You saw F1?
I thought it was tremendously overrated.
All right, so you saw F1, you didn't like it. Did you see...
It was just unrealistic. Like, I've had to watch that godforsaken sport with my brother.
Did you see Marty Supreme?
I did not. But you told me it was decent.
Yeah,
you told me it was
fine. It was fine.
The last time I
only saw one Best Picture nominee.
The last time I actually went to a movie theater was Dune. And that was probably, 2 years ago now?
Dune 2?
Yeah. I'm going with... Dude, we're buddying up for Odyssey, so you better be ready to take me to the movie theater, and I'm going to get you a popcorn because I know you're not buying it.
What was the main takeaway from Oscars 2026?
Did you see... You saw Sinners, you saw One Battle After Another, you didn't see any of them?
No. I saw Sinners.
Did you see Marty Supreme?
No.
Did you see F1?
No.
Oh, my God.
Usually, Colin, these movies, in my opinion, that are up for the best, they're not my cup of tea. Like The Shape of You, where the girl falls in love with an aquatic animal. Like, I remember, that's when I said, all right, I'm done with the done with the Oscars. Like, the wrong people win usually. I mean, what? One of my favorites, DiCaprio. What, he won an Oscar for being a bear killer and a fur trapper, but he didn't win it for the Titanic or The Departed or Wolf of Wall Street? Like, it's an absolute joke.
He should have won it.
Those awards are a joke. It's a political statement.
I'm surprised DiCaprio did not win Best Actor. I thought it would have been the safe move. I understand not giving Chalamet it. People wanted Timothy Chalamet to get it from Marty Supreme. I think you got to wait for him, similar to what you did with DiCaprio. And Michael B. Jordan, the thing is, I like Sinners. Sinners is a good movie. I saw it, 11 months ago. And what I remember is when you walk out of the theater, you go through the list of the things you loved in the movie. Michael B. Jordan comes up around 7 or 8. There are supporting characters who are much more memorable than Michael Jordan. And I like him. He seems like a good guy. He's safe. That's probably why they selected him. He didn't campaign for himself. He was quiet about it. But I did not think that was a Best Actor worthy performance.
And finally,
number 5.
Michael B. Jordan, after winning that Oscar, he went to In-N-Out grabbed a burger to celebrate. Not where would you go to celebrate if you were to have a life-transforming achievement, but what would be your meal of choice?
You'd get your Chipotle bowl, your slop. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Really, that would be no, Mike. You go out to too many nice dinners with the people in your
you go to
social
like
circle.
a nice steakhouse.
Well,
you go to Craig's in L.A.
People in my family, they're big on eating at good restaurants, and I agree. If I had my pick of the choose, it'd be a medium rare 28-ounce steak, and I'd eat the whole thing in one sitting. But
Steak for Mike?
I love steak. Steak, surf and turf, bro. Any type of seafood. Actually, I don't like whitefish, but shrimp, crab, lobster, any kind of shellfish, oyster, clam, dude, right down.
Thank you for the. Nope.
I eat oysters, mate. Don't know what to tell you.
Feels like mucus. Can't get around to it.
And Mike,
It's
who was
so
sick
good.
as a dog about 10 days ago, and he's,
Yeah, Colin has
been
let
plague
everybody
contagion.
in this office know.
You know,
and
we
apparently,
got-
I've
we have
been the
people in the
plague.
office.
Apparently,
we've had 5-6 people drop down with the
Christian,
plague,
something
and
I
it
was
is
sick
because
with
of
a
Mike.
month. Something I was sick with a month ago. I'm the reason that people are now sick a month later.
I'll give you 10 days ago, give or take. Mike was sick as a dog. Where would I go? I actually like to shout like a lobster spot or something like that. That'd be a lot of fun. That's a celebratory type of meal. So something seafoody, I think, would be the place to go. But, In-N-Out's a good option. No doubt about that. And it's a cool spot. It's got a cool ambiance to it.
It wasted time. Bad food, bad quality, very overrated.
You're dead wrong there. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. Let's loop in. Let's have some fun here. Let's get his thoughts on a number of different things. It's the voice of the 305, Mr. Jonathan Zazo.
You might know him as the Cooper City Rattlesnake. He's the human flamethrower of Miami sports radio.
You could be a maniac without being a jerk.
The preacher of the Pat Riley gospel.
They don't complain. They don't make excuses. This is the NBA. Deal with it.
The mayor of Dolphins Delusion.
Can the Bills offense keep up with the Dolphins offense?
And the only guy who can go from breaking down the Panthers power play to cutting a full-blown Ric Flair promo. Woo! Jonathan Zaslow is the voice of the 305. Presented by Anajar and Levine and Twin Peaks.
Zaz, welcome in, my friend. How you doing? What's going on?
Good. How are you guys? Good to see you.
Good, Zaz.
Great weekend of sports. We just had a lot of things went down. Of course, we had the local teams. We had the Selection Sunday. We had the Players Championship. We had the Oscars. What were you watching this weekend? What were you mostly paying attention to throughout this
a
past
lot
weekend?
going on. I mean, I went to the Heat game on Saturday night, and then the end of that Lakers-Nuggets game was awesome on Saturday night. And you got the World Baseball Classic happening down south here, which was great last night. A whole big to-do with, the final pitch in the game yesterday. Watched the whole Oscars. You're right, there was a lot happening. So what was I most into? I was pretty into the Oscars. I think I was pretty into the Oscars. And, of course, Selection Sunday. No real surprises, I don't think, with Selection Sunday, So I think I was probably most into the Oscars.
We'll stay there. We'll stay here right now because we were just talking about it. Did you have any big surprises coming out of the Oscars?
No, I don't think so. I really enjoyed and I looked forward to it very famously for months, the movie Weapons, all right? So it was really cool that Amy Madigan won. She had never won an Oscar before. She was nominated for something 40 years ago, and so she won for the main character on Gladys from Weapons, so that was really cool. And One Battle After Another winning Best Picture, I was pleased with that because I watched it for the first time like a month ago, One Battle After Another, and I came out of it saying this is one of my favorite movies I've ever seen.
Why, you liked it that much?
I loved it. I loved it so much, One Battle After Another. I've been meaning to sit down and watch it again. I love DiCaprio anyway. He's my favorite. But besides that, it's not like every DiCaprio movie I love. I heard you talking about The Revenant. That movie sucks, all right? So I don't just automatically love DiCaprio movies, but One Battle After Another I thought was phenomenal. That movie's so good.
That was my big surprise. Michael B. Jordan winning over DiCaprio. I thought you could have given DiCaprio that award.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems that they kind of wanted to like split up the awards between Sinners and One Battle After Another. So, Sinners got Best Actor and they also got Best Original Screenplay.
Cinematography.
Yeah, and then, the big ones, though, went to One Battle After Another with Best Picture, Best Director. And, of course, also Best Supporting Actor for Sean Penn, who was incredible in the movie.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I mean, that's what they do with the Oscars these days is they choose about 2-3 movies and you're going to get every award.
Yeah.
And that's what that's essentially what they do every single year. They don't necessarily split it up. They don't do a good job at that, if you ask me. the point blank. But
there's
I
too
was
many
surprised.
movies every year that are nominated for Best Picture, so I like it that this year a movie that not only I saw but I loved.
Yeah,
won
it was
Best
it was a
Picture.
pretty commercially available movie comparatively to years past where they have
Just
this
a lot of
random
fun, It wasn't.
Yeah, Mike, you'd like it. I think you would like it.
Oh, it's so much fun, and especially look, it's Paul Thomas Anderson, but I love those type of films.
Says, you know me, I'm a nerd, dude. Like a lot of the times the movies that are up for Best Picture, I don't see eye to eye to. I told you guys, I punted on the Oscars after The Shape of You. RJ the Marvy, Zaz, my dad has a guy on the show, RJ the movie critic, great guy. He had me watch something in 2017.
What?
I can't even explain to you how awful the movie was. The Shape of You, and it won everything.
The Shape of Water.
Oh, I never saw that.
I mean,
The Shape of Water.
the woman falls in love with an amphibian man.
Mike,
it was the
Mike,
dumbest thing.
it was 9 years ago.
The dumbest thing I've ever seen.
It was 9 years ago.
I've never taken movie critics or any of that serious after they
You
told
don't-
me that movie
You don't
is
follow
a 10
Rotten
out of 10.
Tomatoes? You don't got about Rotten
Rotten
Tomatoes?
Tomatoes a waste of
What
time.
about Oppenheimer?
That is a waste.
You
of
liked
time.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, it was a great movie. It was
Yeah,
a great movie.
Oppenheimer's really
that movie
good.
swept the
I'm not,
Oscars.
listen, that's fine. But more often than not, they get it wrong. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes gave, The Phantom Menace like a 20%? That's an amazing movie.
Oh,
all
here we
right?
go.
So don't even get me started Rotten Tomatoes, all right? You like what you like, Saz. That's the way I look at it.
I hear you. So I was into the Oscars last night. I liked. I can't get enough of One Battle After Another. Great movie.
And Selection Sunday, are you a guy that couch rot 4 straight days NCAA tournament? Are you one of those guys? You do not get into as much as the other.
No, I will. Yeah. I'm on the network Thursday night and Friday night, so I'll
Nice.
be able to monitor the games while also working. So that's cool. But it also kind of keeps me, unfortunately, because I am working Friday night. Otherwise, I would have strongly considered making the drive up to Tampa and going to see the Florida Gators. They're playing Friday night at 9:25, and then how about the Hurricanes? 10 p.m. on Friday night.
Yep.
My God, come on now. It's already unfair enough that the Canes are the higher seed and Missouri gets a home game practically. The game's in St. Louis. That's not fair, guys.
Yeah, I
a
actually am
number of
with
different
that.
teams get screwed there.
Zaz, Colin gave me like 6 examples earlier of how they just logistically lost. What do you make of like these
Well, let's
these teams getting these matchups in these cities?
Zaz a Florida guy. Zaz, Florida being in the South region, they had to deal with, unfortunately, the top-seeded 2 seed, which is Houston. The Sweet 16 and Elite 8 location for the South region is Houston. It is a 3-mile drive from the arena, from the campus.
That doesn't
so
seem right. Why
Florida's
is
going
that
to play
okay?
Houston in a pseudo-home game in the Elite 8 if they ever get there.
And like, Florida's getting home games in the first 2 rounds. Great. They're playing a play-in team. And who would it be? Like maybe Clemson in the second round, I think. It's like,
Clemson
who
or
cares?
Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, who cares, So, no, I'll be sitting around watching it all throughout the weekend, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm into it like that.
And what about the World Baseball Classic with it last night? Were you pitch by pitch last night like the rest of us?
No, although like I watched it for a bit, but I will tell you, I didn't see the end, all right? I didn't see the very end, so I woke up this morning and I'm, searching around on social media and I'm seeing how the game ended, like, oh my God, it was definitely a ball and they called strike 3. So I go to look at the replay of it. And I'm expecting, based on the discourse online, I'm expecting it's going to be Eric Gregg from Marlins Braves back in 1997.
Good shout.
Where the ball is like in the batter's box, and they're calling it a strike. I got to tell you, it's not that egregious of a call
Zaz.
last night.
Thank
it really
you, sir.
isn't, okay?
That was a ball.
No,
I
it
mean,
wasn't.
It is a ball.
It was a ball.
It
You can't
wasn't a
say
ball.
it wasn't a ball.
It wasn't a ball.
Well,
Mike,
no, Mike, you're
they
wrong
have
about
the
that.
circle on the screen.
Well,
Mike,
Zaz, you want to know why it wasn't a ball? Because it was good catching. Great job by
so
Will
Mike,
Smith.
Mike, by the way, who is Mr. Get rid of the umpire,
It's a
have the
great call.
computer run everything.
I am.
Get rid of the
I am.
umpire. But when the umpire makes a favorable call for the United States, a blatantly,
he's a
objectively bad
Thank
call.
you, Zaz.
He's
Thank
a
you, Zaz.
Patriot,
By the
and
way,
now Mike is
by the
Mr.
way,
Umpire all of a
the
sudden.
backlash of, I got to listen to Carl Anthony Towns cry a river. I got to listen to Juan Soto say, we showed the world who's the
hypocritical.
best team
I mean,
in
I just-
baseball.
to
That's
me,
all I got to say.
Mike
Juan Soto,
Mike
give me a
couldn't
break.
wait for the ABS.
He
couldn't wait to get rid of the ump.
Go get.
Now
How
he
about-
loves the ump.
How about this?
Now you love him.
Go tell.
I can't. It's hard to take you serious like
Go
this.
tell the DR to get a couple of base hits in the 6th and 7th inning when they had runners on. They had ducks on the pond all night. Give me a break. You
Look.
didn't lose this game. And then, Zaz, one more thing. I'm sorry. They're telling me, Fernando Tatis, Bro, he was 1 for 4 in the game, and it was an infield single that he got on, and Gunnar Henderson fried him at first, but the throw is a bit off.
You said the same thing about the United States. Now you're saying the same thing about USA and Italy because USA didn't care for 5 innings, and then they decided to care at the 6th inning mark, but then they got screwed at the end of the game because Gunnar Henderson and Aaron Judge stranded guys. Now we're blaming the hitters. Come on, now you're playing both sides.
I'm not playing both sides. Those are completely different correlations.
It's exactly, United States lost in similar facet. Imagine if USA got burned against Italy with a man on, and it was 3-2 count, and Judge had a low ball that was called a strike to finish the game. You'd be livid.
Well, Colin, welcome to sports. All right, that's how it works. All right,
especially when you're a major favorite like Team USA.
But I
mean, it's not like we're trotting plumbers out there, Kyle.
I expected, based on the discourse, when I checked it out this morning, I thought the ball was going to be in the dirt. Okay, it was not that far low, and the overall point, yes, it was a ball, Mike. It was a ball.
It's good catching by Will Smith.
It was a ball.
No, it's a ball.
Tell Austin Wells to frame the ball a little better.
But it's the bottom of the 9th inning. There's 2 out, 2 strike. If the pitch is that close, you have to swing. Don't get burned. Yeah. Don't get burned. You have to swing at that. It was close enough. You have to swing.
And, of course, Mason Miller's getting the benefit of the doubt. He's been frying everyone all tournament.
You got to swing. You got to swing there.
And there were bad calls on both sides.
I don't agree with that point. I don't agree with
the
you have an obligation to swing because it was close.
It wasn't in the dirt.
It was good read. It was a good read. That's the bottom line. It was good read. Perdomo had a good read on the ball.
Don't allow the umpire to burn you there. That pitch, it was so close. You got to swing in that spot. You got to swing.
You got to have the ABS in that spot. That's what we need. You got to have the ABS. Maybe they wouldn't even have a challenge at that point, but you got to have it.
I'm dead wrong, but great call and good job by Will Smith framing the ball. Thank God they didn't start that guy, Cal Raleigh.
You're right about the Tatis part, though. Like, it's not like it's this guarantee that if he got on base, they're going to win.
Now, that is true. Like, and he stranded guys on base in the 7th.
All game long, and the only reason he got on, dude, it was an unbelievable barehanded play by Gunnar Henderson at 3rd, and he was a tad to the right. That's the only way he got on base. Anyway. I rest my case.
Zaz, where can people tune into you if they want to listen to more?
Zaslow Show 2.0. We cover everything 305, everything Miami sports. Zaslow Show 2.0, wherever you get your podcasts. Please like, rate, comment, subscribe, do all of that fun stuff. I appreciate you. And, of course, every episode is presented by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Appreciate it, Zaz. Looking forward to talking again soon. Enjoy the week, all right? Good job, guys. Thanks, Zaz. Jonathan Zaslow, the voice of the 305 at the Zaslow Show 2.0. Go check him out today. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. We'll close out the program next. Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com, pbhnphysiciangroup.com, to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group.
This St. Patrick's Day weekend, let's keep our community safe from drunk driving. If you celebrate a little too much, don't rely on the luck of the Irish. Use a rideshare or designated driver. From your friends at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. You've seen the PGA Tour's best on the course, but in the arena, it's prime time. Don't miss the TGL playoffs presented by SoFi beginning Tuesday, March 17th with Boston, LA, Atlanta, and Jupiter vying for the TGL championship. Shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, and overtime. Now bigger and better. Playoff tickets are on sale now. Visit TGLGolf.com to get your tickets while they last. TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf.
In 1977, Ford F-Series became the best-selling trucks in America. 33 million trucks later, we've kept that title every year since. And that's a formula we plan on repeating. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. The best-selling trucks in America for 49 years and counting. Based on 1977 to 2025 calendar year industry reported total sales.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
This St. Patrick's Day, your lucky spot is Duffy's Sports Grill. Join the party all day, Tuesday, March 17th, and dig into corned beef and cabbage for just $15.99. Raise a glass with $4 green Miller Lite pints, $6 Jameson shots, and $7 Guinness pints. Celebrate the taste of Ireland with a limited-time menu featuring Irish potato skins, stacked Reuben burgers, and shamrock pies. It's the St. Patrick's Day party at Duffy's Sports Grill. Duffy's, our game is always on.
We are proud of our parents. Want to know why? Because they work for the school district of Palm Beach County. There's lots of great jobs with paid vacation, holidays off, healthcare, and retirement. You can be in the same schedule as your kids. Come work at the school district of Palm Beach County. You'll see why it's your best choice.
Join us at the Team Palm Beach Schools Job Fair. Register at palmbeachschools.org/job fair. That's palmbeachschools.org/job fair.
College basketball is heating up and the tournament is here. Don't let your home get caught off guard. Get game ready now with EDS Air Conditioning. EDS Air Conditioning is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. Right now, qualified customers can get 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the court, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS has been the trusted MVP since 2006. Visit edsyes.com today.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Think your season's over? Let's turn your off-season back on. Hoops is heating up on Hard Rock Bet, Florida's only legal way to bet the NBA. So you can bet on teams, star players, and more. With games practically every day, there's always something to parlay. Roll with Hard Rock Bet all NBA season. New users get paid double winnings on your first 10 bets.
Max bet of $50 per bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Katz, Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Streaming live on YouTube at ESPN South Florida. If you missed any of it, go listen back on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. Just go to Russo and Rizzo. Mike, we're throwing out first pitches tomorrow at Cacti Park. First time since the last time, which was last year, which they both went pretty well.
We got bad advice. Everyone's like, it's longer than you expect. It's longer than you expect. Colin and we threw it high because we were worried we weren't getting it across the plate. This year, and by the way, Colin, I haven't thrown a baseball since that day. I'm expecting it to be a lot better tomorrow.
Yeah,
Expecting it to be a hell of a lot better tomorrow.
A strike?
I can't promise that, but
Maybe
it's
a
gonna,
strike with yesterday's umps.
Yeah, well, you guys see, Kyle, you wanted the USA to lose. I don't understand it.
I didn't know. I didn't
understand it.
That's not true.
You're not a patriot.
That's not true. That's not true.
All right, fine.
It was just.
I mean, you were trying to put the Maloik on Miller before he came into the game.
I'm an objective sports fan. I saw that and I'm like, that's a ball. And then and you're sitting here saying that's a strike.
It's a strike. It was a good job by the catcher.
That is a ball.
I don't know what you're talking about. But I just don't like the Dominican players saying that's the reason they lost the game. It's not. You got sat down.
Yeah, you
for
can't
9 innings.
You can't think of one at bat.
You got sat down for 9 innings by our pitching staff. Hence why we were the favorites going into the tournament. Did you see Japan? By the way, their coach. Gosh, I'm not even gonna.
Their manager, yeah.
Their manager. Excuse me. He stepped down because of the shame that they endured for losing in the quarterfinal. Dude, they don't screw around in Japan, man.
No, they do not.
I'll tell you what, that guy, they didn't even have to tell that guy he was fired. He knew he was shameful, and he left on his own.
And that's a bad loss for them. They had a lead in that game twice. I mean, Ohtani played pretty well. They were intentionally walking him left and right. They blew that to the Venezuelans. You can't give up 8 runs in that spot. Not in a game where Yamamoto's pitching. You can't give up 8 runs.
Well, Yamamoto was awful in the game.
It wasn't great. Wasn't great. I completely agree.
All right. Based on recent reports, Japan's national baseball coach was ashamed and appalled by the performance that he helped lead in the quarterfinal.
So he walked away.
Wow.
Dude, ashamed. Christian.
Keegan, you're next with the USA Ryder Cup.
One time, geez, oh man.
If only that was a little bit more mainstream in American culture.
Talk,
coaches walking away because they're so ashamed.
Talk about someone who got it all wrong. I mean, Keegan Bradley, I think, got it wrong maybe more than anybody this past year.
Stefanski would have left 4 years ago.
Yeah, well, no, Stefanski would have stuck around a sinking
That
ship.
should be more normalized.
If Mexico beat Italy, DeRosa probably should have done the same thing, right? Like, USA needed something else to happen out of their control in order to make it to this spot anyway.
I know I got to stop saying it. Mark's a great dude, but I think he would have stepped down if they wouldn't have made it to the
He would not
knockout.
have come back. I mean, the punishment he would have gotten by the media.
You're not allowed, dude.
Mark DeRosa would not have been invited back, nonetheless, back, period, as the manager of the United States.
He denies not knowing.
I know, and he's going to die in that hill. As long as they win, people are going to forget. It's going to be forgotten in the history books, in between the lines. But we all know that Mark DeRosa had no idea that they had not clinched the quarterfinal going into that final group stage game against Italy.
Hirakusa Ibata said, results are everything. I am ashamed and appalled by what happened in the quarterfinal. They expected to win. I think it was win the whole thing or bust for them.
The coaching carousel would be unbelievable if coaches would walk away as like that
and
every
leave
time
money
they had
on the table.
Amazingly ashamed and appalled with their own performance. And
granted, there's too much money involved. Just what you think, Mike Norvell should get up and walk away. That's who needs to get up and walk away. Well, what, he's going to leave $50 million on the table? It'll never happen, but I understand the point.
Mike McDaniel would have walked away.
I just, I find it fascinating that poor gentleman. I hope he recovers from that. Hirakusa Ibata. I hope he recovers from that. That's tough. That's tough in Japanese culture. I feel like that's tough. Like, your honor is like everything. You know what I mean?
He might be a manager like in the National Japan League, though.
I think
he probably is. I would assume that he is. I'm not sure. 100%
good.
Sure.
By the way, good league. I'm not kidding. That is an underrated league.
I always play in the Tokyo Dome when I would play MLB 2K. That's all I know about it.
Yeah, Japan's got amazing baseball culture. My favorite thing that Japan does with baseball is Koshen, the yearly high school baseball tournament that they do, where 4,000 high schools, private and public, go into a single elimination tournament around the entire country. 4,000. So you just got to win in advance.
So, Colin, it's so in essence, it's like the FA Cup in England, where all of the teams get to, all the English teams get to compete against even, the Premier League teams. I'm all for that.
But it's high school. Only
high
school.
But still, it's only high school. But
like
Koshen. They do it every year. It's one of the best, and they fill stadiums. And last year, there was a public school, like a tiny little, some of these places are academies, like I think IMG. But every once in a while, there's a little public school that makes a run and wins the 8 straight games that they need to get to that point, and they make it to the Final Four, and it's a whole thing. It happened last year. It's an amazing event. Koshen, they call it.
Listen, I love that baseball is worldwide like that. I'm a baseball sympathist. I love baseball. It's one of my favorite sports to watch. I don't think the sport is dying. I think it's had 2 great years, and I think this World Baseball Classic has only proven that baseball's back in a great way.
Well, I think you're not alone in that opinion. Stephen A. Smith was on First Take, and he had his opinions. I pull it up now on the state of baseball, and I might surprise you. I don't have it yet.
All right, well, I'll tell you what.
It's
in a better spot than the NBA. Tell you that.
Different spots.
It's in a better spot. Not a different spot.
I think in terms of public interest, I would agree with you. I think in terms of entertainment value, I would agree with you. I think in terms of financially, I would disagree with you. How's that?
Which it's because of the TV contracts that
That's it. Yeah, the NBA have a lockdown TV deal, and the MLB does not.
And quickly, last time that nobody's watching these TV broadcasts, so it's hysterical that they're making so much money from TV contracts when nobody's watching.
But yes, they still have the actual contract. ESPN backed out last year. Now the MLB is going to figure out who's going to carry their.
You're right, but I'm interested to see in 10 years when the NBA goes back to negotiation table and they got no numbers.
I would agree with you from the perspective of all you need to know is that 50 million people between the United States, Canada, and Japan watched the World Series Game 7. 50 million people. I think it was like 27, 28 domestically. That all tells you everything you need to know about the state of the union with that sport. And they just had a great postseason. People hate the Dodgers. I agree. There's a lot of problems with how they spend money. But in terms of public engagement, I think people are very intrigued with what's going on at the top of the sport.
The toughest spot we're in right now is the strike that's coming, because there is a strike that's coming.
Yeah, you don't want to lose momentum.
There is a strike that's coming.
You don't want to lose momentum.
I hope I can take Mr. Manfred for his word that, hey, we've never not played games outside of COVID-19, of course, in the pandemic. But he is onto something. Outside of the pandemic, Rob Manfred led MLB has never missed a game.
Yeah, that's going to be a big deal because it's probably going to be the last negotiations he ever does for the CBL or CBA.
He got. You
have it, Christian?
XApp sucks, man.
Yeah,
so we don't have it.
I
leave it into the wind.
In summation, with Mad Dog Chris Russo, Stephen A. Smith says baseball is in the best spots it's been in the last quarter century. That's what Stephen A. Smith had to say.
The steroid era was unreal. I know Colin hates the guys who did the roids, but that was an unbelievable era of baseball. Everyone was hitting 300. You had flamethrowers like Clemens and Randy Johnson. And I mean, dude, that sport was. You tell me you didn't like seeing the Big Mac hit 500-foot home runs, him and Sammy Sosa? Come on, that was fun. A-Rod.
Fine. Cheaters.
Bonds is the best player of all time. I will never not think that.
Cheaters.
Well,
he was that
much
better once he got juiced to the gills like Secretariat.
But he was still a Hall of Fame player
before. But he became something else after.
Dude, you still got to be elite to be able to hit the amount of home runs that Bonds hit. That's all. I'll rest my case.
Yeah, but he wasn't hitting those home runs until he's 36, and he's veins the size of hula hoops coming out of his neck. Mike,
I wanted it. Listen. I plead the fifth. How about that?
You want to legalize it?
We gotta wrap up the show.
You want to legalize it?
No, I don't want to legalize it. I think Bonds, no matter what, would be a hell of a player.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. We'll see you tomorrow. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.